Welcome to the Kameron Show. I'm your friend, Kameron Tyler, and I'm so happy you're here today. And I'm so excited to be coming to you from Dude IDK Studios with one of the most sparkling gems in my life. She is like my big sister. That's really what you need to know. Once upon a time, we were colleagues, but now she's just my big sister. Her name is Jeanne Weihrauch. Welcome.
Thank you.
I can't believe you're here.
I know.
And yet when you sat down, you said, this is so Kameron.
Yeah, this is 100%. Like, this is how I see you in this setting.
Oh, I love
all
that
the
for
time.
me so much. We have known each other for over 13 years.
Yeah, the crazy part is you can actually name the exact date.
It was like, I don't know, February 27th-ish of 2012 when you came to work in the office where I worked. And I remember that my first impression of you is that you were intimidating.
I get that a lot.
Yeah, I bet you do.
Yeah.
And now I find that so interesting because, well, kind of, because we're actually kind of similar in that way, I think.
Yeah.
Some people find me intimidating and some people are a little too comfortable with me very immediately. It's like always half and half. But the people who do find me intimidating, I think, find that under it, I'm quite warm. That's what happened with you. For our friends at home who don't know you, Jeanne, how would you introduce yourself to them in 10 words or less?
So, without using my name, I would introduce myself as a very warm, cold person. But I'm 100% me all the time.
Now that is for real.
Yeah.
Are you a Gemini?
No, I'm a Taurus.
You're a Taurus. Actually, this explains so much. I barely believe in astrology, but I will say that when I encounter a Taurus woman, it's for real.
I'm very I'm fully a Taurus. Like I don't.
Oh yeah.
I fit so neatly into that category.
You
Yeah.
do.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Okay, I love that. A very warm, cold person. I feel that on a spiritual level.
Yeah. What you were saying about the kind of like the dichotomy of like people are intimidated or like they're drawn to you right away.
Yes.
That is exactly how things go for me when I meet people. It's like they either love me or they're like very uncertain about whether they can trust me or engage with me and how to do that. So, I'm like, I think I live that and I walk it. Like, I think that I'm very warm, but I don't try for anything really is kind of the thing.
Yeah.
I don't need to. So
Yeah. And I won't say where we worked. They don't deserve the credit, TBH. But we both work in the realm of human resources. And I think I was thinking about this in the shower of all places today when I was thinking like, what do I want to talk to Jeanne about? I have this opportunity to sit with Jeanne for an hour on the record. What do I want to talk about? And one thing I always try to do when someone comes onto the show is think about how they have impacted my life or who I am. And I was thinking back to my very first episode where I sat down with my ex-husband, Alex, and we had this whole conversation about me going into HR mode and how it scared him.
yeah.
I want it to be known, if anyone deserves credit for sharpening the edges and fine-tuning my HR mode, it is Jeanne Weihrauch. Because you, like, in the realm of HR, my like background is staffing and recruitment. And so my vibe in the HR office is actually very much like, come here, welcome. You have, at least from when we worked together, like employee relations where you had to be like, whoosh.
Yeah.
And I learned a lot by watching you take care of business in a good way.
It's a values thing for me. It's like I'm a very fair person. That's like my number one value is to be fair and equitable. And so it's like I will give people exactly what is needed in that moment because if I sugarcoat things, people get the wrong message. And so like very direct. And that comes across to people as very cold. So
Well, yeah, because you have to take care of business in situations that are typically very emotional.
yeah.
And somebody in the room has to be able to put that to the side.
Yeah.
And you're so good at that. And I remember in my early 20s watching you do that and being like, I love this.
Yeah.
I love this because it's not that you're not caring. You're one of the most caring people I've ever known in my whole life.
Yeah.
But I love that about you.
Yeah. Yeah, I would say it's more natural now just because as you are something for so long, you kind of just absorb those qualities. But I would say it's not necessarily natural to me.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's a borrowed strength that I've had to like really like be cautious of, that it doesn't overcome who I am, because I am a warm person. I care about people and all the things.
Yeah.
But like, you know, sometimes you have to borrow a strength and let it lead the way based on the situation. So
That's really interesting to me to hear that. I don't know why. Were you not always like that?
no, I think, so I was a super sensitive child. I was the youngest of three, like two older brothers, you know, you just like very, very sturdy, but very like aware of all of the emotions, all of the stuff that my brothers could care less about. Like parents fighting to me was the end of the world, and it was just like earth shattering. And I'm still probably overly sensitive in a lot of places in my life, but just have learned to like manage it.
Oh my God. I also feel this is why we are very, very similar in this way, I think, because I identify with that so much. Wait, I want to go back because I don't want to skip this question because I'm very curious about your answer before we get too far into our chat. If you were to close your eyes and identify the color of the aura right now, what color is it?
Right now, yellow.
I love when people say yellow.
Yeah, yellow.
Is that because it's bright and like sunny outside, or why do you think it's yellow?
Well, because I get to spend like today all day and for the next little bit of time with my daughter, and she is yellow to me. Like all of the like warmth and excitement and like just the brightness in like the best ways. It's not overwhelming, but it's like it's just all the best things. So yeah, I think that's a big part of it. But just being here with you too, like,
oh my God,
it's happiness for me. Like this is happy space. Yeah.
Thank God.
Yeah.
This is happy space for me too. Also, I would say I attribute the feeling of safety to you. Oh, hi, Luna. I have so many things I want to. So when I was thinking, let me go back to this. When I was thinking about what do I want to talk to Jeanne about, something like the first thing I always think of when I think of you is that you're like my big sister. There have been so many times. It's actually crazy to me because I was doing the math, and I think you left our office before I did in 2016.
Maybe by like weeks.
Yeah. I mean, we were both, when we were done, we were both.
You had a job offer. Like I did not leave until I didn't like give my notice. I think I just did I was just like, I'm out when I gave my notice. But like, I think you had given your notice too. You just gave a longer notice than I did.
I did. But yeah, we only actually worked together for a little over 4 years, which is crazy to me because at this point in our lives, I feel like you've always been there. And like probably the most recent crisis that you helped me with was when I had to rehome Pooh Bear. So like to recap for our listeners who maybe did not hear this story previously, my mom and I kind of had a rocky road in 2022, and it resulted in my mom taking our family dog to the shelter, basically as vengeance toward me, and like dumping the dog at Foothills Animal Rescue. And I was able to get him out. I tried to have him come live with me in the city, and he was miserable because this dog was like a tiny little cockapoo who was 13 years old. He was going blind. He was in pain. My poor little angel, my king. And so this is just like exactly the illustration, I think, for you in my life. I had a complete mentee bee one night. I think I FaceTime. Oh, actually, I know I FaceTimed you. We don't have to say why I remember that. But I remember very clearly that I FaceTimed you and you were sitting in your closet. Do you remember?
No.
I don't want to say it. I'll tell you after.
Oh, okay. I was going to say you can say it.
Well,
there are no secrets.
Okay. I mean, okay. Let me just tell the story.
Yeah.
I had Pooh Bear at my house for probably 2 weeks, and every night I lived not very far away from a fire station. And anytime there were sirens at nighttime, he would be freaking out, running in circles in my living room, crying, and I just felt miserable. And also it meant that I was sleep deprived because I didn't sleep when he was doing that, and he wasn't sleeping. And so I called you one night, or I FaceTimed you, and I was like on the verge of tears. I might have already even been crying because I was like, I can't take this dog back to the shelter. Like, I won't. I would never do that. Yeah. And also my sister couldn't take him because my sister's dog would probably eat him, and I couldn't find anyone else to take him. And I was just like, when I don't know what to do, I will ask Jeanne what to do, because Jeanne will also help me like anchor myself right now when I am in this state of frenzy. I FaceTimed you. You were sitting in the closet in your room. And you had told me like, well, my neighbor, this woman that lives behind me, her dog passed away earlier this year. And I think he was also a cockapoo. Mm-hmm. And so you're like, let me talk to her and like see. But while you were telling me this.
Oh.
You remember?
Yeah.
Should I say it or not?
It's fine.
Your husband, who's a hunk. I'm sorry, I have to say it. He's a hunk. Didn't know that you were on FaceTime and had just gotten out of the shower and walked into the closet behind you. And I felt better. I froze. And I was just like, and you're like, uh-oh. Anyways, and you just kept going on, and I was just like, probably rad for the rest of the conversation. It's fine.
We're not a very modest household.
No. And honestly, thank
That's
God.
So funny. I totally forgot about that. Which is not surprising that I would just forget about.
Yeah, I never forgot.
Cameron. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway.
I've never forgot.
Yeah, I'll never forget. But the good thing was that your neighbor did indeed have the capacity to take Pooh Bear. Mm-hmm. And the happiest ending that was possible occurred, which is that Pooh Bear went to go live with sweet angel Linda.
Yeah.
Until his passing. And even at his passing, she was so, I mean, you honestly found me the most perfect angel, because she was like, I think you should make the decision. I would like you to be there when this happens, if that's what you choose. She let us visit him all the way up to the end, my sister and me. And so, like, this is a perfect example of me being in crisis, and me, who's typically a problem solver. I didn't know what the hell to do, but I knew that you would know, and then you knew. I did. And you saved my ass. And she's wonderful. Linda's still to this day so wonderful. And, you know, it's all we have in life is connections, right? Like, that's all we have. And so when good people get to connect with other good people, like, that makes me feel like I'm contributing to this universe. So it was all meant to be. Well, you're a connector like me, too. Mm-hmm. That's like another way that we are so similar. So I was thinking today, it's interesting, the little Venn diagram of our ages, because you are 8 years older than me. And so when you started working in our office, you were, I think, 28. Beginning of 2012. Yeah. And so that's 6 years younger than I am now, but you're currently 8 years older than I am now. And so there is like almost a perfect Venn diagram. And I feel like, again, I've known you forever, but I also, when I was thinking about it today, realized that I am so curious about kind of like everything that led up to me meeting you.
Oh.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think it's because, as we've discussed, I've started my Star Wars journey. And last night, my friend Jake came over and we watched the movie Rogue One. And the thing about Rogue One is it's kind of a prequel to the first movie they made in the 70s.
Yeah.
And it literally leads right up to the moment of the first scene of the movie from the 70s.
Okay.
But they made this in 2016. And so at the end, you see like this, I don't know, it's a robot or something, give this thing to Princess Leia. And it's like a young Carrie Fisher. And I was like, I want to know, like, what is the story, as you would tell it now, of that? Like, you leading up to where we met. If you were to tell the tale.
Yeah. I would like, so I lived like a whole life before
I know.
coming to Colorado.
Which is crazy. Because
Yeah.
I think everything revolves around me.
Yeah. I mean, it does.
To a certain extent, yeah.
No. So born and raised in California, Northern California. So that's where my mom's whole family is from. So I was raised in the dysfunction of a Jewish family it was a lot of infighting and money being most important. Poor kid that lived, we were a poor family that lived out in the country, and we had horses, and I had just like the best childhood because my dad made sure that we had like anything for like everything. My mom, I get like my love language is gift giving. I get that 100% from my mom. My dad was like love language of experiences. And so like we had horses, and my dad is the one that I get so many of my values from with regards to like family and what family really means, like, whether it's blood or not, and what matters when it comes to the people you call family. So didn't spend a lot of time with my dad's family growing up. They were back in Minnesota. But eventually my dad's mom got older, and he decided he wanted to move back to Minnesota to be closer to his family. My mom had a falling out with her mom and sisters and brother. Like, she had a falling out with her. So it was just like we literally packed up, and it was like 12 days later we were leaving behind like our entire life to move to Minnesota, to a place like cold and completely different.
Different. How old were you?
12.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
In that age.
Yeah. And I think about it now because my daughter's 10, and like what, like, anyways. But it was fine. And Minnesota was lovely. Went to, graduated high school. High school was, I think, this is kind of separate, but I just have to say it when you're talking about like the Venn diagram of our ages.
Yeah.
I've been a 40-year-old lady my whole life. And I don't think anything has made me realize that more than hearing you, like back when we worked together, so a long time ago, hearing you talk about your high school experience compared to mine. I was like, what happened since like in that gap between when I was in high school and when you went to high school? Like, very different experience.
Very different. Yeah.
Anyways, so yeah, and then went to the summer between my junior and senior year, I met a guy named Chris, and went down. We moved. After 9/11 happened, and he signed up. He was a year older, and he signed up to be in the National Guard.
Oh,
and
which he must have been young, like 19 then.
Yeah, 18.
18, yeah.
Just like a beautiful person, like just the most altruistic person you'd ever meet. Anyways, but then after his first year of college and my senior year, went to a school that was just like an hour away, and like never really went back to my hometown because my parents moved. So like all the friends that I had in high school, I've not stayed connected. Well, some of them, but like didn't really stay connected to, and just kind of like life reset then again. And got married at 21.
That's so interesting to me.
Yeah. So I was with I was with him until I moved to Colorado. But he was deployed, had been on deployment, and it was just like a mutual agreement that his life was in Minnesota and mine was not. Like, I never felt at home in Minnesota. I never really established like that root system there. And I'd kind of hit like the ceiling. I was working at the place that I was working at, it, like, kind of hit the ceiling there. I wasn't going to really be able to move. It's small town. People stay in their jobs forever. So it's like nothing ever comes available. So anyways, and so I moved out to Colorado. And
Was that like right before?
I packed up a moving truck and like moved to Colorado. I think I arrived 5 days before I started work. And it was
I was
like,
gonna say, yeah, when we offered you the job, you were in Minnesota still, right?
Yeah.
That is crazy.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is always really interesting to me when people uproot and like start. I mean, I am no stranger, obviously, to starting a new chapter, but I feel like when you leave your home, that's kind of starting a whole new book.
Yeah.
Can't understand that because I've been a Colorado boy always and I could never move away.
Yeah.
How did you decide on Colorado? Is it just because that's where the job was?
Yeah. So I was offered my position and I had been offered another position in DC. And I was like, I'm not at the point in my career where I'm like going to go to DC for the pay that like they were offering. And I had been coming to Colorado for work for like on a monthly basis. So I was there a lot and I was like, I like Colorado. I don't know anybody.
Oh my God.
Like,
you didn't know anyone?
I didn't know anyone. No. I mean, Dan was here. But he was working, up the hill in the mountains and like.
Wait, so you did know Dan before you moved to Colorado?
Dan was on my cul-de-sac that the house that I owned in Minnesota on the cul-de-sac. He went to like high school with neighbors of mine.
Okay.
And so we had met at like a party. And as I'm like trying to figure out like, who do I know? Like, I'm very lonely, right? Like, I don't know anyone here. And he was, I think, even like traveling to Alaska, like for like 30-day like assignments in Alaska at that time. And but I was just like, so that was like literally the only person I knew in Colorado.
Oh my God.
And it was not like I could really connect with him much because he was gone.
Yeah.
So it was a strange time. I really threw myself into work.
Yeah.
Like, had an amazing family out at work because like
we had quite the era.
We did.
We were very lucky for that.
We were, and so I never like, it's fine. I'm actually like a fairly autonomous person.
Yeah.
So I'm okay with that.
But still, like, now that I am in my like mid 30s, I think of a 28-year-old as so young. And like, even if I were 34 now, if I moved to another city, I couldn't do it.
Yeah.
I can do a lot of things, but I could not do that.
I honestly, I don't know that I could do it now the way I could have then, though. Like,
yeah,
I think
actually that makes sense, kind of.
Yeah, you don't have the same like reservations when you're younger than you do when you're older.
Maybe I could have done it when I was younger and that has just passed. Maybe that's what I'm really thinking. So you said you never really felt like home in Minnesota. Do you feel it in Colorado?
Yeah. Colorado's home. And it's like it has like everything to do with like the sense of like I know that I've made I've been so fortunate to make really wonderful, beautiful connections. And again, I'm not that person that needs a lot of like upkeep and maintenance for those connections.
Right.
But it's like, I know that I could call Kameron. If I haven't talked to you for 6 months, I could still call you and be hey, like, I just need like, I need a weekend away. And you would be like, and to me, that's what makes something home is that safety and that like
1,000%. Yeah. I feel the same exact way.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, before you even help, like, for example, the Pooh Bear thing, I probably, we could go a year without seeing each other, honestly. And But I know that I can never not call you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It is really the same.
And I think like the simplicity of that I think is really beautiful. But yeah, I never like had those types of like very superficial feeling, like surface connections. And that to me, you know, home is the people. And
that's how I feel.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. I'm curious about how you went from being the highly sensitive child to someone that I think of as very, I mean, I agree you can still be quite sensitive as I can, but you're really good at controlling it. And you kind of mentioned the concept of like, that's a borrowed gift.
Yeah.
Where do you think you're borrowing it from?
So, I think one is just experiences in life, having been married young and like divorced and all, not in any of that was there like animosity or any sort of like ill will, but it kind of like hardens you to this place of like, you really do just have yourself in so many ways in this life.
Big time.
And so if you can't, for me, it was like, you can have those feelings, but those are for you. And so that's not really, and I mean, everything is a defense mechanism when it comes to emotions.
Yeah.
And the ones that you like keep to yourself and aren't outwardly using. And like, I think I've been the 40-year-old lady my whole life. Like I'm the little sister, but I've always taken the role of like the caretaker.
Yeah.
And I think that also is like, I have to be steady if I'm going to be responsible for helping you figure out your emotions. And so, and you know, and being a parent, like, I don't know, it's like an open wound. It exposes you like to everything, right? Like you have to put on all of these different masks to be who you need to be in that moment.
1,000%.
And so I don't know, like it's probably just the combination of like, I've got to like make sure that I'm squared away for me so that I'm showing up. Like I can do the stuff that's more like for me, the emotions and that stuff. I can cry in my closet. Like,
yeah,
I can cry in the shower. And it's not, you know, again, it's not, I wouldn't say that it's necessarily healthy. Like
not all the time, no.
The things that we like do that aren't necessarily healthy, but it works for me. So
no, because I get that. Like when you, I don't even, when you said the thing about like, yeah, because I was always this 40-year-old woman. So even though I was little sister, I was a caretaker.
Yeah.
I feel very similar in the sense that when I was a kid, I felt like I had to be the adult in the room in so many situations because my parents could be so petulant when they fought. That's so interesting. I guess I never really thought about it, but we're probably alike in the sense that we grew up having to be an adult I think they call it the parentified child.
100%. That was my experience.
And that's why, because something about you that I've always felt is obviously, like I said, the big sister vibe, because you are a caretaker and a problem solver. And like your skill that I have too is if there is a crisis, I want you to call me.
Yeah.
Let me help you handle it. But that's probably why.
Yeah.
Because we grew up being problem solvers.
Yeah. And if no one else can like manage themselves, it does nothing to find your way to a solution if you also can't manage your, like if in crisis, everyone is in crisis and everyone is behaving like they're in crisis, then you're going to stay in crisis.
I know. And ironically, when the crisis is happening to me, I'm worse than you are at separating myself and I freak out. But if it's someone else's crisis, that's when I thrive.
Really good at it.
Yeah. Oh, I'm really good at it.
But isn't that at the end of the day, and this is a whole nother experience that we've gone through together, each separately and in our own way, but like at the same similar time.
Yeah.
Isn't that all like a control mechanism?
Oh,
isn't it?
Oh, yeah. We can have a whole episode about control.
Yeah. I mean, like when it comes to like anxiety and like it all like the root of it all is this sense of control. And I think that I get that from also that caretaker role is like, I'm going to take this and I'm going to like wrap it up and I'm going to make it nice and neat and then we're going to get through it.
100%. Because that's another thing that we have in common, which is also probably not surprising as parentified children. Anxiety. Yeah. We've both been like actually on the verge of a mentee B, if not off the cliff.
Oh, yeah. Oh, hello.
Hello.
Over here.
And I feel like that is something that we have in common, is that it is ultimately a control thing, which totally probably comes from the same place.
And unfortunately, like, as now I know that that's a 100%, like, I don't know if it's nature or nurture, but it is inherited. And I have a, very type A perfectionist child that I'm trying to help learn how to like manage that like need to be in control and like how to utilize it versus let it like
utilize you.
Yeah, like it's that's been the biggest lesson as a parent, is that it's like your kids are like this little version of you in so many ways. And the best or worst, and I wouldn't say that like my need for control is bad or good, but it's very much a part of me.
But it's there.
And like walking through that with someone who's just learning about the world and emotions, and that's been a ride. Yeah.
That is interesting, because I'm obviously not a real parent. I call myself a parent with my two boys.
Yeah.
And my little locket. Have you seen my locket?
I did notice your locket.
Yeah, I got this as a Christmas gift from my friend Erin. Let's see if I can open it.
Do you have them in
I have Zach and Logan in my locket. It was a gag gift, but I actually started crying when he gave it to me.
That's pretty special.
But now that I joke and I say I'm in my mom era, I'm curious to get your take on this as a very traditionally control-oriented person.
Mm.
Like you said, when you're a mother, as in your case, you actually are.
I am.
There is so much that you can't control when it comes to maintaining this little life, and not only because they're their own person, but because you have to learn how to let this person go be in the world that you don't control.
100%.
How has it, I don't know what the question I'm trying to ask specifically, but I want to know more about that experience.
Yeah, as it relates to like controlling. So I have recognized, and maybe it's because I became a mom, I don't want to say late, but in my 30s, that's the beauty of, and I can say this because I have like such a rad little person.
Oh yeah.
But like the beauty of parenting is that if you recognize the fact, it's like drawing a bow. Like if you think of an archery like metaphor, it's like you're drawing a bow back and at some point you release. And it's like you do your best to aim that arrow and like set it on the right course. But a million things could happen and the wind could take it, or, whatever life happens can take it. And so you do your best to like ready and like prime for this to just suddenly like, you're like, okay, it's going where it's going and I have no control over it now.
Yeah.
And so I think actually that part of parenting has been like the most beautiful part of parenting, is that I don't feel like I need to have control. And maybe again, it's because I have a rad little person and like she kind of is like able to set her own course.
Yeah.
And she trusts herself in that and I trust her in that. But yeah, trust is not like a natural thing for me, but with her, like I trust her 100%. So
I love that.
Yeah. It's just it's almost like, as a parent, I don't need to have control of her destiny because I trust that she's going to like get to exactly where she needs to go through whatever she needs to go through. And she's going to do it with grace and probably messiness, but she's going to be okay at the, like, anyway.
Well, and she's going to trust you back. And this is like the really interesting thing that I admire about so many moms in our generation, is that like millennial moms, is that a lot of millennial moms have had to break generational cycles, right?
So
and so
much,
like
yeah.
you, like me, are a person who's had to set really firm boundaries
Yeah.
with your mom. And, you know, mother-daughter relationships are always interesting, but particularly for you, I think the relationship that you have built with Sydney seems to me to have been the result of a lot of lessons learned on your part,
Yeah.
and like what kind of mom you want to be, because you're a phenomenal mom to not even just to Sydney,
Yeah.
to the world. Mother, I've always said that. But
Yeah.
I think it's really beautiful how you've created this relationship where, you know, a lot of those issues won't ever come to fruition.
Yeah. No, I mean, she's like my singular insecurity in life is everything. But only as it relates to my, like, every little thing that I do, because it's like, am I good enough for her? And I would say that that's like my mom never had any care whether or not anything she did was in my best interest, or you know, it was like she just did.
Yeah.
And like didn't. And so, and that was the, and so like for me, it's like I want to know that like she sees me as that, like everything that I do is setting her up for whatever adventures she wants to have in life, and I'll do anything to make sure it's exactly, you know what I mean? I'm definitely not a like, I will hand you everything, child. You can have, like, I'll make it happen, but but I'll be there, and I didn't have that. So
yeah. Which is what I love.
yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
You're so good. I want to be a mom just like you.
But also, like I said, it's like my biggest insecurity. So I question myself in everything. Like,
but I almost think that's a healthy insecurity. Yeah. Or maybe it's just an insecurity that I admire, because I think like your experience is very universal for a lot of people in our generation, of like, I know what it's like to have well, is your mom even Gen X or a boomer?
I don't know.
A Gen X / boomer parent.
Yeah, she's like late 60s.
Yeah, like a parent of an older generation who really had a different approach to parenting, where the child was in more ways than now like an add-on, like an accessory in their life, and not their purpose that way.
I mean, my mom has made it clear that like she never wanted like a third kid, which was me. Like,
so yeah, in your case, even more, because at least my mom guilts me of being like, I wanted you so bad, and look what you did. But like, yeah, but like, yeah. So yours especially, you know, that feeling of you are not the centerpiece of their concern.
No,
but. You know, Sydney would never be able to say that, because, quite frankly, since she was, let's tell the story. Let's get it out of the way. I was lucky enough to work with Jeanne at the time where she moved to Colorado, obviously, as you know, listener. And then she fell in love with Dan. They started dating. They got engaged. They got married. Moved into the house. Eventually, she's pregnant with Sydney. She goes through her pregnancy while we work together. And all the while, she's growing this baby. She's harvesting this human. She's growing. And
I mean, I think your reference was like Alien.
It seemed like an alien to me.
You were
I was
young
not enchanted.
No.
Let's put it this way. I was not enchanted by her being pregnant. No. I thought it was so weird. And I was just like, why is my friend doing this? And we had a lot of coworkers that were like, oh my God, Jeanne, can I touch your belly? Can I feel? And I'm like, why do you guys want to do that? That's so fucking weird. And one day you pulled me in your office, you had Kameron. And I was like,
we were at the bagel shop.
The Einsteins.
we were in public. This was not behind closed doors. There was lots of people around.
That's right. You're like, let's go on a walk. We would go get Einsteins, and you're like, you're going to feel my belly today. And I was like, I don't want to. And you're like, she's kicking. Come feel it. It's like the most amazing thing. And, you know, you should know. And so I was like, okay. I put my hand on your belly and Sydney kicked and I screamed. I screamed in public.
Yeah.
It was the most disturbing thing. I have not felt a baby kick in a belly since.
Your face was so much disgust.
I don't like that at all. The concept,
No.
I think it's because I think of it as like a human trapped in another human.
And yeah, you're like, there's an alien in there. You would refer.
Freaks me out.
Yep.
Freaks me out to this day, but Sydney Wren is the only baby I ever felt kick and the only baby I ever want to feel kick again.
That was this. I used that example, Kameron, so much in different trainings that I do about like anti-harassment training because of this. Like, I forced you to touch my body and you were so I use it as this example of like, and you might think that like certain things are no big deal, but never grab a person's hand and put it on your body.
I want to be very clear. I'm not actually traumatized. I mean, I am, but like, I'm not in any way upset about it. I think it was a magical thing. I'm happy to have experienced it once. Once being the key word. But no, I think it's iconic. I think it's amazing. And now when I see Sydney as like a fully formed young woman, I just think, wow.
And so what's funny is that like, I will not touch anyone's belly. Like, so just putting that out there, like,
wow, lessons learned.
Like, I'm not. So it was an interesting time. I was pregnant. I don't know.
Things were different back then. It was a pre-Trump world.
I have to tell you. So, as we were all departing from that place that we worked, and we had a boss who we're still very close with. He's a wonderful man who's like fatherly, I think, to both of us.
Oh God, yeah.
And like in different ways, but like, you know, just this really great person.
He is.
And he was retired. He decided like he had had enough and he was retiring. There was like this mass exodus. We all left.
Yeah.
And he was retiring. And so as well as I knew you after 4 years of working together and like some pretty traumatic like experiences, workplace experiences, we were throwing him a going away party.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you remember. So I had heard your stories, the one that you told on Mortified, like pieces of it. I knew you were a storyteller by nature. But when I say we, like, and I'm like that control person. So normally whenever I say we, it's really me.
Yeah.
But when I say we, it was you.
Oh.
That you were like planning his whole retirement party, going away party.
I was.
And we were to do like a speech. Do you remember this?
Oh, and it ended up becoming a roast, I feel like.
It did. And
it was scripted.
Kameron scripted it.
I needed it to be perfect. I'm a Leo, like you're a Taurus.
You literally just walked up into my office and you handed me this Kameron and Jeanne like line by line script. And I was like, okay.
I was like, I would love you to be off book, but I understand if you need to look at this during. We did end up reading it.
That was so funny.
I'm sure I still have that on my computer. I'm going to try to find it and post it on Instagram to go with this episode.
Man, Kameron,
I have that in the archive somewhere.
You were...
And it was beautiful. Shout out Greg Balin. I love you so much. Oh my gosh.
We were so
I'm so happy. And you should be honored. It's one of very few roasts I've ever written. And if I roast you, I love you.
Yeah. He's a great guy. And that was like, there is a realization in that moment. Again, we're always constantly learning, right? Like, don't make people touch your body. Kameron is a like writer in his core. Like,
that's what I wanted to be. Sitcom writer, soap writer.
And this guy likes to have everything completely like every step of the way. I mean, anyways, it was
don't ad lib.
No.
Stick to the page.
And I was just like reading it. Like
I do remember you looking down at it and being like, oh. Yeah, okay. Because I was like, would you give the speech with me? And you're like, sure. And I was like, great. So here's your lines. We go back and forth. So I have yours highlighted. And it will be perfect.
It was great. I didn't have to do anything.
People loved it, by the way. It was so funny. People were laughing their asses off.
And it was so... I will say you have you have grown as a writer, because there was zero Jeanne voice
Oh,
in
yeah,
it.
no,
I mean, it was
about
all
me.
Cameron. Everyone knew that Cameron wrote it.
Everyone knew.
And I was like reading it. But anyways.
Yeah. Oh, God. Yeah, I'm going to find that. I'm going to find that and share it with our friends. Okay. We've talked about so much, but now it's the time in the episode where we have to do the jars.
Okay, let's do
You
the
know
jars.
the deal with Sip, Savor, Spill.
I do.
And you get to choose how it goes. So how would you like to play today?
Let's start in the middle.
Ooh, not enough people do that. That's this one.
Okay, I choose.
Janae's going to pick it. Janae, why don't you read it, and then you decide who answers first.
Okay. Oh. What conspiracy theory do you love hearing about, regardless if you believe it's true or not?
I can tell my friend Vernia wrote that one by the pen. Do you do conspiracy theories?
Like, I am adjacent to people who love to dive into. Dan, my husband, is like, he loves to like meddle in conspiracy theories.
He dips his toe in.
Yeah. So I'm familiar with
a lot.
them. Yeah.
I will say one conspiracy theory that I don't even know if I should talk about this on the internet, but I'm going to say it is I don't think the Trump shooting was real. Like, I think it was staged.
Okay, so I have also gone down that conspiracy theory social media rabbit hole.
Yeah.
And there are so many things where it's like,
it's just suspicious to me.
So another one that I've gone down is the Candace Owens, like
and the Charlie Kirk
stuff.
Oh God.
And that has been really interesting to like,
because I don't even
watch.
want to give her attention, and at the same time I'm like, I don't know. She likes receipts, and it's pretty convincing sometimes.
So in every situation in life, there's got to be a victim and there's got to be a villain, right?
Yeah.
And so I think that that's why it's like Candace Owens, who I have never once like tuned into, because I don't want to give her any time.
Exactly.
Like, now I'm just like, she's reasonable.
I know.
Because like she's like in that space of like the victim, and there's a very clear like more like someone that I can relate as a villain like more clearly.
I know.
So
I know it's always confusing and the bar is on the floor. Obviously, we all know this at this point, but like when the Candace Owenses and the Tucker Carlsons say something that's reasonable, and you're like, but I always have to say, oh my God, I agree with them. And then I have to stop myself and be like, no. They're for a moment agreeing with me.
Right.
I still don't trust them.
No.
But I will say the number one thing that I'm like, maybe I've watched too much Scandal in my life, but the whole Trump assassination attempt, I don't know. I don't buy it.
So I end up like always like turning to the people that have like the actual credible experience that can like assess a situation.
Yeah.
And like, so like one guy that I've paid a lot of attention to is he was a Secret Service agent, and he's like, everything that happened, like the like he continued to stand. Like in that situation, you get him on the ground and you get him covered.
And you would take him away.
And in that situation, no one got him on the ground. No one covered him. They surrounded him, but they let him, like why? But like anyway, so like there's pieces like that where it's like those are like the technical pieces that I'm just like,
I know. I'm just not convinced that he would have been allowed to stand up and put his little fist in the air. Yeah. I don't know. I'm just saying, everybody, if you think he really was shot at, good for you, I guess.
And then I'm like, oh my God, I'm one of them.
I know. I'm sorry. I'm not saying like all conspiracy theories. I will say I don't believe any 9/11 conspiracy theories. I think it was what it was.
Yeah.
I don't believe that Avril Lavigne is really dead and replaced with a doppelganger. Have you heard about that?
Yes, I have. And I don't believe that either. I mean, dead has a lot of definitions, but like...
Yeah, that's true. I don't listen to her more recent musical endeavors.
Yeah.
Well, that's a good one. Are there any other conspiracy theories that you... I believe everyone went to the moon that said they went to the moon.
I do too. Like Dan, like him and my sister's partner, they had shirts for a while and joined like the Facebook groups for like flat earthers.
Oh my God.
And I
As a
mean, there was,
joke.
yeah, kind of, but part of me is like, I don't really know. Because again, I don't trust anyone.
Yeah.
I trust my husband mostly.
Yeah.
But there's certain things where I'm like, but does he kind of actually believe this? Because there's like we talk about like the birds and like,
I mean,
it was all like haha, but at
they
the same
are,
time.
some of them are really convinced.
Yeah.
And I, for them, would like to put them in a spaceship and send them so they could see it for themselves. I'm like, really? Okay, that was a pretty good starting point, right in the middle. So now, do you want to get deep or
Yeah.
shallow? This is the spill and this is the sip.
Spill, and you choose.
Me?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, this is another Verinia one. It says, what's the last hard thing you stuck to doing? For me, I would say I absolutely hate exercising.
Mm-hmm.
But last year, I was at a point where I was like, I know I will feel less horrible in my life if I can get the endorphins out of exercising, the lower blood pressure out of exercising. Mm-hmm. It has never had anything to do with like my size or anything like that. But like, I wanted to feel better, especially after the election. And so I asked my dear, dear friend, Heterbro, Jordan Betcher, to help me figure out like a routine that would work for me. And it has been really hard because in the midst of this, I had to have a hernia surgery, which made me stop working out. And I still don't go like every day.
Yeah.
But I try to go twice a week. And over a year later, I'm surprised at myself that I still do it.
That's a good one.
But I feel good about it. And it is really hard. There are days that I'm just like, I don't care. I'm getting microwaved alive. Why do I have to go work out? But then I'm like, I will sleep better tonight. Mm-hmm. And for me, that's what it's about. So I would say that's the first thing that came to mind.
It's a good one. It's a good one. It's one that I should take some. Cameron can do it. I can do it too.
Oh, well, that's for damn sure.
I have a gym in my basement, and
yeah. I mean, yeah. It takes having a gym in my building.
Yeah.
For me to be able to do it.
Yeah.
So
I can think of a million reasons to not do it though. Every single time.
Starting with I don't want to. That's another way we're very similar. Like, if I don't want to do something,
try and convince me that I want to.
I know that's going to be really hard.
I can't even convince myself I want to do things. Let's see. So, I mean, the thing that comes to mind first for me is like, I guess, like like work related. Mm-hmm. Like that's been a hard one to stick through.
Yeah.
There's been a lot of like times where
we work in a world with a lot of peaks and valleys, and the valleys can be pretty bleak.
Yeah. So this last year has been one of those where it's like quitting for the first time. Like I'm not one of those like quitting is the easy way.
Oh,
like,
I get it.
Quitting, but like I've considered it so many times.
Yeah.
And I've stuck through. And I don't know that that's even like, I don't know. Like,
I mean, it for sure is a good investment.
Yeah.
You know, like at the very least. And I think, yeah, I also considered leaving this year. I attempted it and they stopped me actually. So it's like, I get it. It is really hard in our field of work to stick with it sometimes. And both of us have. Yeah. And it is really hard.
I would say like one more that's like a more personal base was, or I mean, sometimes is when my dad was ill.
Yeah.
I fell into that caretaker emotional support role for my brother, and it was pretty toxic. Mm-hmm. And I very much wanted to just be like, nope, this is the boundary I'm setting.
Yeah.
But also knew like I can manage, stick through, like he needs you to be there more than you need to like be safe for yourself. Like, you know, I could manage that pressure. Whereas I knew that if I wasn't there for him, the consequences for him were going to be bigger than the consequences for me. So,
I get that.
like, kind of sticking in that space of like continuing to be the caretaker, that was a really, really tough one, because just kind of like in the same like vein as with our moms, like I have no problem walking away. I don't care if you're family or what. Like,
once the line has been crossed.
Like my boundary is firm. And so, it was like really like pushing me
you had to make
to
a
that
conscious choice.
I was like, I can manage this. So
and
that
it was a finite period of time. I mean, it was never going to be forever.
Right.
And maybe that was helpful, but
yeah, I mean, I put some boundaries in place, but it wasn't just closing the door, which would have been like, honestly, the best thing for me in that time would have been to just be like, you know what, you're on your own, blocked, and figure it out for yourself.
It is another thing we have in common. Is
and I
we
can
are
do
good
that.
at cutting the cord.
Yep.
We're both very good at cutting the cord when necessary. No, that's a really good one.
Yeah.
Oh my God, we only have one more.
Okay.
Wait, that was the spill. So now we just have a nice little sip to end with, which is so nice.
That's this one?
Yep.
Okay.
Oh my God, 3 Verinia ones today. This is also a Verinia question.
Okay. It says, what was the last book you read? Audiobooks count, podcasts if they don't read. So I am a big podcast fan. I don't even remember the last. The Color of Law is the last book that I read.
The Color of Law?
Yeah. It's a really interesting book about just the justice system and how it's been influenced by color.
Oh.
Like since the inception of the justice system. Really, really eye-opening to the way the world has put people at a deficit. Like the starting block is way, way back there for some people.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a pretty dry book. It took a little bit to get through, but it's very interesting. But I'm a big podcast. Like I love true crime. So there's an audiobook that matches a podcast called The Rat Catcher.
Ooh, never heard of it.
Yeah. Yeah. I would say that there's better and worse like audiobooks. Like I'm like particular about like who I'm listening to. Like I don't really like the way they're telling the story.
Oh, like the narrator?
Yeah. So but it was a good story once I was able to kind of dive in.
I don't like true crime at all.
Oh, you
Except
don't?
for one time I did listen to the Scamanda podcast, which, do you know about Scamanda?
No.
Scamanda, her real name was Amanda, but she was a scam artist.
Okay.
And she did this scam where she made her whole community believe that she had cancer, and she raised over $100,000 for herself. And it was also the first time I ever listened to a podcast. My friend Drew and I were driving out to Wisconsin, and we just needed to pass the time.
Yeah.
And I did get sucked in. A scam I would like to read about or hear about.
Isn't it fascinating?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
how people can be like, I feel like I'm a pretty like convincing person.
Yeah.
And I cannot imagine people ever, I don't know.
I mean, this girl went all the way, like, put herself in the ER so she could get pictures with IVs hooked up to her and put on her little cap and stuff. I mean, honestly,
it's impressive, right?
It's impressive.
Like the commitment.
You have to admit it's impressive.
She made it her job.
The commitment to the bit.
She was like, I'm going to get paid. And so
I got paid till the FBI found out.
Yeah.
The last book I read, actually, so I read Lucille Ball's memoir. It's called Love, Lucy. And then I fell into a bit of a rabbit hole. So then I listened to the Turner Classic Movies has a podcast, and they do every season is a different topic. And a couple years ago, they did a season about Lucille Ball. And so then I listened to 12 hours of content about Lucille Ball, who is so iconic and was just such a pioneer. And, if there's one thing about me, I love a strong woman.
I just thought of a conspiracy theory that I actually do think that you're Like, wasn't there the whole like Judy Garland ruby slippers? Like, wasn't that a whole like?
Well, they got stolen.
Yeah.
And they got found.
Okay, so
That was not a conspiracy. That really happened.
I'll
tell you one Judy Garland themed conspiracy before we go that I get really annoyed about people believing, and I'm here to set the record straight.
Okay.
And honestly, I have to give a lot of credit to my girl Tori at TikTok's Oz vlog, because of course I'm on Oz Talk as an avid Wizard of Oz. I think, wasn't Sydney one of the people I usually give babies?
You did.
Yeah.
She still has it.
When my friends have children, I give them The Wizard of Oz because I think every kid should have it. But in the movie The Wizard of Oz, there is a rumor, a conspiracy theory, if you will, that in the Tin Man scene, you can see a munchkin hanging himself.
Yeah, I've heard
that one. Have you heard this?
Yeah.
It's not true. It is a crane, a big bird. They had real live birds on that forest set, and it is a crane. You can tell in the 4K version of the movie. In the old VHS movies, it did look like a munchkin
What was it
swinging.
doing?
It was just like moving its head.
Oh.
But it looks like in the old VHS, it did used to look like a munchkin swinging from a tree.
Oh.
But it wasn't. A munchkin did not kill himself on the set of The Wizard of Oz.
Okay.
And that's what I would like to end this conversation with.
There we go.
Although I would like to ask you one final question. Here we are in January 2026, about to hit our 14th year of knowing each other next month. Are you a believer in the New Year's resolution? Do you have any for 2026?
I don't. I like believe in like constant assessing and like reevaluating things, and
that's the most Jeanne answer.
No, I don't wait for. No, I don't. I can appreciate when people like goal setters. I'm not one of them to be like intentional on a specific day.
Yeah, I get that.
Yeah,
I get that. I mean, I don't really do that either. I think I reflect, but I don't.
Yeah,
I don't like set a hard goal that if I don't meet it, I'm gonna like KMS or something.
Yeah. No. But I should think about it because as I say, like constant assessing and evaluating. I probably need to do that at some point in the near future.
Get a goal, Jeanne. Damn.
This year has been mentally exhausting.
I'm just the last thing either one of us needs is a goal right now. Our goal is to wake up tomorrow.
Just survive.
Yeah. I'm just trying to like stay smiling. No, I think that's the most Jeanne and perfect answer. So anything you want to leave our guests with before we sign off for the week?
No, thanks for having me.
Oh my God. Thanks for coming and bringing producer Sydney, who has been behind the scenes with, in conjunction with producer Nick, making sure that we look flawless on the camera screens today. We could not have done it without her. As usual, friends, live your best life. Don't be a dick. I love you. Goodbye.